train crash. 56-year-old Martin Martinez Jimenez died when a Union Pacific locomotive collided with his landscaping truck on State Street on October 23rd. 2 others were injured. The preliminary NTSB report shows Jimenez had little warning of the oncoming train. Recorders indicate the train's whistle and crossing signals were activated only moments before the collision after vehicles had already entered the tracks. The investigation is ongoing. Millions of Amazon Prime customers will get automatic refunds after a $2.5 billion FTC settlement. Regulators say Amazon used deceptive tactics to sign people up and made it hard to cancel. Eligible customers, those enrolled between 2019 and 2025 with limited Prime use, will get up to $51. Tragedy struck Saturday night at Two Brothers Roundhouse in Aurora, where a shooting left 2 dead, including the suspected shooter and 1 person in critical condition. Police say the 3 victims knew each other and the incident appears to be related to domestic violence. Authorities confirm there is no ongoing threat to the community. The Aurora Police Department and Kane County Coroner are investigating, and anyone with information is urged to come forward. The brew pub has since reopened after temporarily closing. Joliet police say an 18-year-old man, Jalen Davis, is facing multiple charges after a series of early morning burglaries Thursday. Officers say Davis threw a brick through a dollar store, then broke into a Wendy's, damaging registers and a safe, and attempted to enter a nearby Dunkin'. Police recovered stolen merchandise and tools they believe were used in the crimes. Davis was arrested, charged with burglary and other offenses, and later released from jail as the investigation continues. Plainfield police say an active incident near Crossing Drive and Springview Court Sunday night was peacefully resolved after nearly 2 hours. Authorities had asked residents to avoid the area, but the alert was lifted just before 8:45 p.m. No further details have been released. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Target's Black Friday deals are delivering big surprises all week long, like 40 to 50% off top holiday gifts, plus thousands more deals in-store and online, all with free shipping. Load up on all the season's must-haves with huge deals on tech, video games, toys, floor care, clothing for the family, and so much more. Hurry! These deals are going fast. 40 to 50% off gifts and Saturday. Only at Target. Free shipping applies to orders over $35.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. Illinois football came up short, losing 27-10 at Wisconsin on Saturday. The Illini dropped to 7-4 overall, 4-4 in the Big Ten. That'll likely drop the Illini out of the college football playoff poll. They were ranked number 21 in last week's poll. They'll wrap up the regular season this Saturday against Northwestern. Tonight, Illini men's basketball faces Texas Rio Grande Valley. The Illini ranked number 8 in the AP Top 25. Last night, the Illini women scored an 86-63 win over Florida State. Big win for the Bears on Sunday. 31-28 the final over the Steelers. Caleb Williams, 3 touchdown passes, helping the 8-3-0 Bears stay atop the NFC North. Chicago has wins in 8 of their last 9. After rallying in the final 2 minutes the previous 3 weeks, they held on to a late lead this time. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive. I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Black Friday deals are here.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. A wind advisory is in effect from 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. Wednesday. Today, cloudy with areas of fog and a chance of rain before 9 a.m., then patchy drizzle and fog until noon. High near 51. Rain showers likely tonight with a low around 33. Currently, it is 46 with light drizzle. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice. So many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
The Live Like Roo Foundation is a 501c3 charitable organization that assists owners and their pets through a cancer diagnosis by providing financial and emotional support. In memory of a dog named Roo, the foundation helps local shelters and rescuers by sponsoring animals with cancer who do not yet have a forever home. Live Like Roo is a beacon of light during a dark time. For support for your pet or to donate or volunteer, please go to livelikeRoo.org. Again, livelikeRoo.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome, folks, to the Elgin Chamber Chat today here, monthly on the fourth Tuesday of the month here on WRMN's Community Hour, where we discuss all things community, especially today with it being Chamber Chat. We have Carol Gieske with us. Always a pleasure having you here in studio to talk about all the great things happening in Elgin.
Well, Matt, thank you. It is just an honor to be here and for you to continuously talk about the things that are happening in the community. You're amazing. All these connections you're making. Isn't it fun?
Thank you. I love it. I love it.
Did you have any idea when you started out on all this that all of these people you'd meet, all these businesses you meet, all these organizations?
I never thought that I would. I honestly thought I would spend my life maybe I don't know, working in the back room filing papers or something. I don't know, but it's like this has been such a dream to do. So
that's great. And you've been doing it for how long already?
Oh my goodness, it's been about because I did it during COVID too. So 5 years.
Wow,
5 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good. Well, it really is performing such a community, important community opportunity for people to learn about what's going on. So we appreciate you fitting us in a schedule every month. We have that chance to come in and talk, and we've been doing this for a number of years. It's my pleasure today to have a couple of guests joining me from local businesses, and we'll talk about, one local business and one local not-for-profit. I mean, we're really fortunate in this community to have such a wealth of not-for-profits in our area. So first off, Samantha Harris with Paul Davis Emergency Services. Thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And Len Bogacki with the Boy Scouts of America Three Fires Council. Len, thanks for being here, too.
Thanks for having me. Happy early Thanksgiving, everyone.
How about it, Thanksgiving? So who's cooking turkeys? Samantha?
I'm cooking this year.
You are?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I am not. I'm headed to St. Louis.
St. Louis.
So that's going to be kind of hard to transport 300 miles.
I would say, but you're going to be with all those millions.
Adapter.
Millions of cars on the roads that we hear from AAA talking all about the congestion.
Hopefully it's not too bad. Last time I was on 55, it's pretty easy going down that way.
Good. And it's what, 5 hours-ish?
4.5.
4.5-ish. The way you're driving, 4.5. I was
Depends on how fast you're
right,
driving.
exactly.
No, always the limit. Always the limit.
That's good. Well, thank you for both being here. There's some exciting things happening. Samantha, you just moved with your business. Len, you're celebrating with your organization the 100th anniversary. So it's really exciting to see what's happening in the community. We'll talk a little bit, too, about our chamber's Thanks and Giving Luncheon today. Thanksgiving Luncheon, where we recognize volunteers who are working and volunteering their time at local nonprofits. And we'll talk a little bit about who those people are this year and why we're recognizing them. But Samantha, let's talk about Paul Davis Emergency Services. Talk a little bit about Samantha first.
Oh, gosh. Where to start? It's not boring. Well, my start actually was not in restoration. I started in healthcare. I worked in healthcare for about 10 years. I was actually recruited over to this business, and I have found that it's been a really wonderful transition because I used to help people with their health, and now I help people with their homes and their businesses, which are some of our most important assets that we encounter. And it's really been a pleasure to really learn so much about the insurance world and all the inner workings of, how to make sure we're getting taken care of, how to best protect ourselves. So not only just helping people professionally, but also even in my family.
So your company's a restoration company. So talk a little bit about what you're doing, how you're doing. Who's Paul Davis?
Yep. So Paul Davis, we've been in this area, Elgin specifically, for over 8 years, but in business for almost 15. Restoration is kind of a word that gets thrown around, but it's kind of split into two components. The first one being a fancy word of mitigation, and it's really a very fancy way of saying we clean things up that are nasty and dirty. So if your house floods, if you had sewer backing up and into your basement, if you had a fire, if you found mold and you didn't know, oh my gosh, what do I do? How do I take care of this? We're the company that comes in. We've been specially trained on how to clean up, dispose of things properly, and make sure your home is able to be restored back to a safe place in your businesses. And then the second component of that is the reconstruction, which is all the things that we had to tear out and remove and clean. We're then going to put it all back together, rebuilding all the areas and working a lot of times very closely with your insurance to make sure that what we're doing is being paid for by them, because that's why we have it.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, let's get down to the statistics. If people are interested in learning more about you, how do they find out about Paul Davis Emergency Services?
It really kind of depends. As a homeowner, obviously, it's only if something really bad happens. Great things to do, I can say, is, definitely lean on your insurance contacts if you are in that situation. Make sure you vet people. If you're interested in learning about us, you can go to PDES 24-hour HR for the hour.com. And, that just kind of has a little bit of everything. If you had to get a hold of us, it never hurts, even if, let's say, good for people to always know, if your insurance company sends you somebody, maybe you don't feel comfortable, something about them, you can always call another contractor.
So you have as a homeowner, you have a right to say, oh, maybe I'd like to look at this company because I've heard about them before. Or okay.
And people don't realize that you actually, now both good and bad, you have the right to choose who you work with, and nobody can dictate who you work with.
Okay.
So even if they recommend, even if they send them to your house and they say, we're here, you can say, no, thank you. You know what? I know somebody, or I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times people can feel panicked in the moment, and sometimes it's okay because you're working with a good contractor like us and many other good ones, but other times it can end up pretty terribly.
Well, the potential of that, certainly, Matt, when you think about it, you have a problem in your home and you're trying to figure out what to do, and you never been in that situation probably ever before, so you want to make sure that you get someone who's reliable and who knows about the services.
Absolutely.
And the most often time that unfortunately people do get taken advantage of is very high stakes situations, such as a fire. They will sometimes come, there can sometimes be pressure, people are nervous, they're not really thinking clearly, and they may end up signing with somebody and regret it later. And to kind of help some people with that, we actually created a small booklet. We call it our Fire Recovery Roadmap. So it just gives like a good overview of, a 24-hour checklist, what things you might want to think about. Hey, calling your utilities, not using your medications in your house. Don't take the toothbrush with you. Some safety things that we don't always think clear in the moment. Understanding the fire department's actions and why they may have cut into our drywall when we didn't think it was needed, or why they busted out windows. Those things can be very traumatizing. And then also understanding, public adjusters, the good and the bad, where they can find more information, how to choose a contractor, and then kind of a little overview of the process of what the different components are, because so much goes into those, and it's a lot to take in.
So you really have just a myriad of services that are available to help that homeowner or that commercial business or whatever, industrial business with any kind of disaster that might strike them. And it doesn't have to be a complete disaster, right? It could be just flooding in the basement on a really bad summer day, right?
Leaky toilets,
Leaky
that bad
toilets.
wax seal, as simple as that. Or, hey, the water line from the fridge popped.
Oh.
We didn't realize it flooded into the basement. I mean, I'd say that those are the things that are just happening to all of us as homeowners and business owners. We've all kind of been there, at least with one small thing or another.
We have.
Yeah.
So you made the transition from healthcare into the emergency services. So are you out promoting services? What's your responsibility? You're not out in the cleanup crew that's going in after that water line breaks, right?
I am not typically. I can if I need to at times. I have been known to show up on site and still, be there, even if sometimes just in a support capacity. So I handle a lot of our account management. So when you're dealing with businesses, there's so many layers of people involved that need to be informed. And, our crews need to be doing running the crews, our crew leaders, our workers need to stay focused on what they're doing because time is money and it matters that they stay on what they do. So I kind of become that liaison, making sure that client expectations and what we're actually performing in the field are constantly matching up. If we have agreements in place, I'm setting those up. I'm managing all those expectations and there to just kind of any issues, problems, I'm there to help solve all those.
I'm sure that is very helpful for a homeowner who's going through quite a transition with whatever that emergency is that has occurred at their office or their home or wherever it might be. So as you talk about challenges, I remember when we first had the opportunity to welcome you to our chamber and to do a ribbon cutting at your now former location. Just seeing the items in the warehouse you had, and I thought, oh my goodness, you had, I don't know how many fans. I think I took the time to count the fans, but it was really quite impressive, the amount of items that you had in order to help homeowners and businesses.
We are a bit nutty with the amount of equipment we have. I can honestly say it's not normal, and moving it all was a task.
I'm sure it was.
But we also do a lot of work on the road. We respond to natural disasters. So when there was the fires in California, we're there. When hurricanes hit Florida, we go down there. And then really, Paul Davis is a franchise model, so we have great relationships with other offices. And when their areas are impacted, as you can imagine, there might be a lot of companies in the area, but it exceeds capabilities pretty quickly. And we will come in and as an assistance and make sure that the people they've made promises to can then be kept. So we have a whole trailer. We fill it with all our equipment. We need to have enough to work at home and on the road and have everything you need, because try even finding a case of water. So it can be, you need to be ready.
Yeah, I guess I don't think about those kinds of things. Obviously, I think each of us, Len and Matt, haven't had the situation where we've had to use any disaster services. Knock on wood, right, exactly.
And we're blessed in the Midwest in a lot of ways that, yes, we do have some things, but hurricanes and things that are extremely damaging, I know I've never had to live through something like that, but I do have friends in Florida and they are scarred from the stress and agony of, having their home damaged. And they were one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's challenging. I can't imagine. So you have a full team that is working, a complement of folks that work with you. Can you talk a little bit about them and their roles and responsibilities with the business?
So we have we have the production side and then we have the operations side. So operations, you can kind of look at it like the hub. They're in there, managing schedule, keeping an eye on, eye in the sky, just keeping an eye, making sure everything is running, getting billed, summaries getting sent up to our commercial clients, letting them know what things happened that day, where, project costs are coming in, all those kind of details. Then in production, we have our team leads that run, specific crews. We actually color coordinate our crews. So even in our warehouse, we have to be ready to go now, right? You call, you don't need help in 6 hours, you need help now. I mean, it's the only industry I've ever come across that you can have a whole crew of like 10, 15, 20, whatever you need, guys, all the equipment within 2 hours there and working.
Impressive.
It's kind of it's an interesting kind of, so in order to prepare for that, we have color coordinated our teams. They have tubs and fully stocked trucks that are ready to go, that have all the kind of supplies they need depending on what kind of job it is. So then the leaders, they run certain color crews. So we call it our bungee cord system. So let's say, Carol, you called, I need help now. we also need to triage a situation, right? Just like when you go to the ER, you need to triage what's wrong, what's the treatment plan, how are we going to proceed forward to ensure that everything's okay. So that team lead is going to show up first. The crew is also in motion, but they're going to the shop. They're kind of grabbing things based on what they already know. Team lead's going to get there. They're going to start taking all the documentation that insurance needs. They're going to start evaluating what is damaged, to what extent, what areas are most affected, so that when the crew shows up behind them, they are able to triage, say, okay, this is most affected areas. I need you to start here. These are the kind of steps that we're going to take to start handling this and getting it under control.
Very interesting. So you really have organized the company so well that you are able to respond very, very quickly to those kinds of situations.
Yes, and then the back end is it's called estimating, but everything has to be broken down into line items for insurance in a very specific way. So the team leads, they build out a certain portion, and then that goes to our estimator, who again is kind of that operations hub person, and he's fine-tuning, looking at that, making sure that, we have all the pictures documented. Did we do everything in the field? Is everything accounted for in this estimate? And then they're submitting that to your insurance adjuster and communicating with them. So if, let's say the adjuster says, hey, why do you need to do this? He can send the photo proof and advocate on your behalf and say, we need to do it because this and this, met the criteria for it. Okay, documented.
So that must have changed quite a bit in the history of restoration companies. I mean, with all of the opportunities now to do photographs and live pictures and whatever, the documentation must be much more thorough than what we had seen maybe even 10 or 15 years ago, right?
It's extremely detailed and at times cumbersome.
I imagine.
We document anything and everything. Every piece of equipment better be in a photo, or insurance is not reimbursing you for the run rates for that piece of equipment. There's a play-by-play every day of everything the crews are doing. Okay. If they demoed a wall, we're showing that it's wet. We're showing if there's mold. So we show every aspect. And then even once we move to, let's say, in a water job, we might remove certain materials, and then other things are being dried in place. We also need to ensure that it's drying at a certain rate and a certain time frame. So we have a monitor that goes every day, checking the equipment, because of course we don't want fires or faulty equipment, right? So someone needs to monitor the equipment itself, and then also checking for levels of drying. And they have logs. They have to document all that and submit to insurance. So if, let's say, it's taking a little longer because maybe certain types of building materials do take longer to dry, we can prove that through that documentation to substantiate why we may have taken 5 days to dry instead of 3. So it's a lot of things behind the scenes.
And I'm sure then as you get into some of these projects too, you find you find that, okay, this is the line that we think will be finished and go forward. And then all of a sudden, as you move forward, you decide or you determine that there's additional services or something behind that wall you didn't look at before, or wasn't evident that something was affected. I assume that happens probably regularly.
It does. A very easy one that comes to mind is, for instance, we can go, hey, this wall is wet, but it's not very wet. And it's clean water, right? We also categorize water, which depends on how we would have to, whether we can keep that material, whether it needs to be removed. There's different levels, and it's all, determined by where it came, source, and how long it's been sitting. But let's say it was your kitchen sink overflowed, affected your wall. And we go, okay, we can probably drill some holes. We can dry that wall from within. No big deal. That usually would take 3 days. Well, let's say we now go to drill in there and you have 3 layers of drywall. They didn't put insulation. They decided to double or triple up the drywall for soundproofing. Well, 3 layers of drywall versus 1 layer, big difference in the drying time, right? So that's where some of those things we just don't know until we get into it, what might be hiding behind those building materials.
Oh, how interesting. So really, you're just all over the place. So you've handled fires and you've handled water issues as simple as, it's Thanksgiving and all of a sudden my, my sink or my dishwasher's not working and the water's going all below. And on Friday, I realized downstairs is full of Thanksgiving leftovers from my dishwasher. So you're in that world as well. Construction problems. I mean, you just really are all over. There's not anything that you aren't able to assist with?
In that space, no.
Okay.
We are very well equipped and very blessed to also have a creative team. we have commercial clients we work with, and they sometimes have the more unusual problems. And it's pretty fun to figure out, okay, what can we take that we do know or have to find a solution that works. So that I think that's the part that gets people excited. So we'll be honest, if we don't think we can do it or do it to the way that you deserve, we're going to say that. But if we can, we're going to come up with something creative and make sure that we get the problem taken care of.
So in situations where you get the problem taken care of, then the next iteration is construction back to, and where does that come with your company and other vendors? Is that part of what you are doing? Do you reconstruct walls and?
We
So
do.
you have a construction team as well.
Correct. So we have in-house people, and then we also then have some certain partners for larger things or more involved situations that we work with to help manage and get everything done.
That's great. So you can be full service to your customer, then you will,
100%.
that they won't have to worry about, okay, now I got the walls up, but I have the wood up, but I need the framing up, but then I need someone to do the drywall and the painting and all that other stuff. So you really can be full service through your company.
Correct. And we were not always. We used to strictly be mitigation. And, so many people, you get used to working with someone. You like the way they're servicing you, like the way they're communicating. And people would be visibly upset when we'd say, hey, we're not doing the reconstruction. But I've really enjoyed working with you guys. I know who you guys are.
And they have the confidence in you, I assume.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's, a couple years ago, we brought that extra piece in. Thankfully, our team is not a novice to the situation, so that's a blessing. But so it's been a very easy transition as far as that goes. And it's wonderful to service everybody from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Have the same team backing them up.
So now we see the forecasts are coming out for the winter, is what we're hearing, and we're hearing it could be a difficult winter in some of those areas. So do you see seasonally? Do you see things happening more so in the winter than the summer, or how does that work with your business?
It is a weather-related business in a lot of ways, as you can imagine. So yes, winter, very cold winters, pipes bursting. Those cold snaps definitely create some unwanted issues for everybody. So that can create upticks, of course. Hurricane season, creates a lot of extra rainy season and spring at all if it's a very wet season and we have flooding.
So you can possibly be busy all of the time during the year. Yeah.
Correct.
All right. So what's been one of those? Can you cite perhaps a case study of a really, really challenging restoration that you had to do that was beyond what you thought would happen?
We had a commercial customer that had a cold storage unit, and they had the main pipe that drains from the roof coming down through that freezer unit, and they ended up having a crack. Had been a lot of rain, ended up flooding in, and as you can imagine, it's a freezer, so it just froze.
Oh.
They had thick, ice coming all the way down the pipe. The floors were completely covered. I mean, it was an absolute disaster. Yeah. And you can't thaw it. The unit needs to stay frozen, but we also need to get rid of all this ice. It's not safe. And it was one of those, put your thinking cap on.
Yes.
Okay, this is kind of a new thing. So we have some really awesome people that have been doing this forever. And they worked together, kind of put their heads together and said, okay, what do we have in-house? How could we do this safely? So they came up with, okay, we have floor scrapers to help, take that an actual ride-on floor scraper we use to take up flooring when it needs to be removed. So okay, we can bring that in, but then we also still need to soften the ice and loosen it. I don't know if anybody here is familiar with ice damming.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, on a roof.
Right, on your roof.
Yeah, right.
So in order...
Yeah, go ahead.
So in order to handle that, we actually have backpacked little leak heaters. It looks like, Ghostbusters when we're on roofs. So we actually utilize those to heat the ice, to kind of melt up and lift,
get it
and then we
lifted
would
up.
scoop it up, protecting the floor, getting it out of there, and then good old-fashioned wheelbarrows and shovels.
Well, so interesting, so varied in what you're doing. Paul Davis Restoration, they're experts in property restoration, whether it's residential or industrial, commercial. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break, and we'll come back and talk more with Paul Davis Restoration, and then get on Boy Scouts and the 100th anniversary coming up. Looking forward to it.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Cintas. Joliet police say an 18-year-old man, Jalen Davis, is facing multiple charges after a series of early morning burglaries Thursday. Officers say Davis threw a brick through a dollar store, then broke into a Wendy's, damaging registers and a safe, and attempted to enter a nearby Dunkin'. Police recovered stolen merchandise and tools they believe were used in the crimes. Davis was arrested, charged with burglary and other offenses, and later released from jail as the investigation continues. Plainfield police say an active incident near Crossing Drive and Springview Court Sunday night was peacefully resolved after nearly 2 hours. Authorities had asked residents to avoid the area, but the alert was lifted just before 8:45 p.m. No further details have been released. The Kane County coroner has identified the driver killed last month in an Elgin train crash. 56-year-old Martin Martinez Jimenez died when a Union Pacific locomotive collided with his landscaping truck on State Street on October 23rd. 2 others were injured. The preliminary NTSB report shows Jimenez had little warning of the oncoming train. Recorders indicate the train's whistle and crossing signals were activated only moments before the collision after vehicles had already entered the tracks. The investigation is ongoing. Millions of Amazon Prime customers will get automatic refunds after a $2.5 billion FTC settlement. Regulators say Amazon used deceptive tactics to sign people up and made it hard to cancel. Eligible customers, those enrolled between 2019 and 2025 with limited Prime use, will get up to $51. Tragedy struck Saturday night at Two Brothers Roundhouse in Aurora, where a shooting left 2 dead, including the suspected shooter and 1 person in critical condition. Police say the 3 victims knew each other and the incident appears to be related to domestic violence. Authorities confirm there is no ongoing threat to the community. The Aurora Police Department and Kane County Coroner are investigating, and anyone with information is urged to come forward. The brew pub has since reopened after temporarily closing. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Are you dreaming of a getaway? Want to leave the stress of daily life behind? Whether it's a relaxing cruise or an adventurous land escape, planning the perfect vacation doesn't have to be a hassle. At Cruises International, they specialize in vacation destinations, land and sea, making your dreams come true. Located at 1721 Moon Lake Boulevard in Hoffman Estates, Cruises International isn't just about booking travel. They're your personal concierge, trusted travel advisor, and advocate. Your preferences are unique, and they'll take the time to understand exactly what you're looking for. From personalized service to their global network of specialists, they ensure that your vacation is tailor-made just for you. It's time to plan the vacation of a lifetime. Call 800-255-7447. That's 800-255-7447 today and speak to a cruise and vacation expert. Cruises International. It's time to set sail to your dream destination.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. A wind advisory is in effect from 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. Wednesday. Today, cloudy with areas of fog and a chance of rain before 9 a.m., then patchy drizzle and fog until noon. High near 51. Rain showers likely tonight with a low around 33. Currently, it is 46 and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, so share the season with a peppermint mocha. Starbucks signature espresso, velvety mocha, and cool peppermint notes, topped with whipped cream and dark chocolate curls. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
And welcome back, folks, to the Elgin Chamber Chat here on WRMN. We've got Carol Gieske with us, as well as Samantha Harris. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for talking about the Paul Davis.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. We've also got our next guest as well here, too.
We do. Len is joining us from the Boy Scouts. But before we do that, I want to talk just a little bit. This is such an exciting weekend in the area, downtown Elgin. If you haven't heard yet, of course, the holiday tree lighting is occurring on Saturday at 5 p.m. on DuPage Court. Our office happens to be right on DuPage Court and on Grove Avenue. So please come down, visit us. Right outside of our front door is the mailbox for the letters to Santa Claus. Nice. So our parents, make sure that your kids know about this. Have them write the letter. We will ask you for your home address because Santa will respond. So we have a direct line in our office this year, the chamber office at 31 South Grove to Santa Claus. So make sure that you know about that happening. We also are going to have a visit on Saturday afternoon in preparation for the holiday tree lighting, and that is the Grinch is coming to our office. So grab your phones and your camera and come on down. The Grinch will be at our office between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So we last year did this for the first time and just had a steady stream of families coming in for their pictures, which were just darling. So we're glad to do it. And I understand the Grinch. We've been talking to him. He is ready. He's not in the best of moods. So I'm sure that by Saturday, he's going to be a handful. So plan on coming down to our office at 31 South Grove for that. If you have any questions, our phone at 847-741-5660. And you'll see a lot on social media about it. Today, we're very excited to have our 44th annual Thanksgiving luncheon. This is a luncheon where we recognize and give much deserved thanks to honor volunteers at our local not-for-profit organizations. We ask these agencies to just send us a couple sentences about a volunteer that works with them, that's special, that probably is one of those people who, they're on a regular basis, Len, that just gets, doesn't get much beyond a thank you from the staff. And so it's our opportunity to just say, hey, come to lunch. We're going to give you a certificate. We're going to let the community know what you've done. So we're recognizing 10 people. Glenn Korbecki with Food for Greater Elgin, Kathy Feston, Habitat for Humanity, Lova Jackson with Community Crisis Center, Christina Kalunga with Elgin History Museum, Michael Novelli, Side Street Studio Arts, Mark Gibb with Markland, Pat Sikowski of Elgin Symphony Orchestra, Kim Goring of Anderson Humane, Ken Karczewski with Hands of Hope, and Nancy Flora with Acker Center for Behavioral Health. And those are the 10 volunteers. We're just saying, hey, thanks. We appreciate what you're doing. We've got about 130 people for lunch on today out at Elgin Community College. Thanks to them for helping sponsor us. But it is just one of those very nice opportunities to say thanks. And Len, your whole world is about volunteers with the Boy Scouts Three Fires Council. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening there, because you got a lot going on.
First, before we let this entirely go, it is great to be in a community with so many great volunteers, and it's great to see things going on locally that support that and reward that and say, hey, let's keep this going and let's keep community thriving in as many ways as we can. So love to hear about that. If I may, I'm going to try and make a transition here, between what Samantha was talking about. I heard her use this word. I listen for it all the time. She used the word prepared. And in Scouts, we always talk about being prepared. It's our motto.
Always,
so,
yes.
It's nice to be able to have an opportunity to talk about Scouting in general and the event that we have coming up. You've got the Thanksgiving luncheon with the Chamber, but you've got the Northern Kane County Good Scout Breakfast up at Camp Big Timber. So you can go for breakfast with us. You can go to lunch with the Chamber. Dinner's on your own.
Yeah, there you go.
But we cover at least a couple of meals there, so we're excited about that.
Well, this is something, Boy Scout, maybe Camp Big Timber, maybe our listeners don't know much about Camp Big Timber, but what an asset it is in this community. It's been around for...
It is. It's been around for 100 years now. We're excited about that. Let's see, that goes back to, I think, 1924. The property was originally in the hands of the Elgin National Watch Company, and it was some of those employees that were a part of the foundation, a part of building up camp, which is just on Big Timber Road. It's our 77-acre oasis. It's busy 365 days a year for scouts to be able to use for camping. We have training that happens up that way. We do our CPR training, wilderness first aid, speaking of being prepared, and all kinds of activities going on there. It's a gem in the Elgin area.
It really is. And I think if you're not connected so well into the Boy Scout organization, you probably don't even know. It's right next to the Paul, I just lost
Wolf.
the Wolf. Yeah. The King County has the management of that forest preserve. And so it's a lovely area, but you butt right up close to that and have your own.
We're nestled in. It's a good opportunity to use the word nestle.
Okay, excellent. So your Scout Breakfast is in just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's a week from today, actually. December 2nd, Giving Tuesday. We're going to open up camp. The main lodge will be open for breakfast starting at 7 a.m., and we are honoring 4 more community volunteers, community heroes. We've got Mark Siegel from the Siegel Foundation, Lori Baker from AID, Elisa Lara from Elgin Hispanic Network, and many other
VNA
places.
Healthcare.
VNA Healthcare. And then also Kyla Britton, we've got from the Elgin Youth Symphony Orchestra. I know that's in her history. She's also with the LEAP Foundation now. So some great volunteers doing some great work in the community and also supporting youth.
Yeah, it really is a wonderful opportunity to recognize these folks who are doing so much in the community and reaching out through their various entities and through their networks to promote a number of organizations as well. So Boy Scouts Camp, 100 years old. We're going to celebrate it being a 100-year anniversary. And then you have also other activities that are going on in December, correct?
Yes. So the specific to the event, the breakfast, December 2nd, we have a ribbon cutting ceremony that the Chamber is, thank you very much, going to help us out with.
Yeah.
We also have a mayoral proclamation celebrating the 100th birthday that's going to be read there at the event. And then as far as specific events beyond that, there's always opportunities to get plugged into the scouting community. So I encourage everyone to come out, learn a little bit more about camp, be able to see it. I think sometimes that's half the battle, is just getting people to take the time to get to know us. And you'll find that we're doing some great things.
Well, talk a little bit about your organization, headquartered in St. Charles, but serving a very large area, Len.
Correct, yeah. So camp is 100 years old. Scouting is actually just a teeny bit older than that. Scouting's been around since 1910 in the U.S., and Three Fires Council is sort of the administrative office, the administrative center for scouting in our area, which is DeKalb, DuPage, Kane, Kendall counties, parts of Will and Cook. And then also through that area, we manage the scouting program. We do the back end stuff, some of the more boring paperwork type things, but we make sure that the organization is as safe as it can be and as fun as it can be at the same time. That means coordinating 3,500 volunteers within that territory, as well as about 285 units or so. That's a wonderful thing to have going on, because then it supports about 6,000, 7,000 youth, give or take. There's some fluctuation around this time of year because everyone's in the fall season. They're renewing their memberships, and so sometimes that number jumps up and down a little bit. But in general, that's a pretty big population to serve, and we have been doing our best to try and coordinate all of our programming, all of our fundraising. We refer to it around the office as, we're looking for the 3 M's: money, manpower, and membership. As a nonprofit, not to put it too bluntly, that's what makes us work. And so it's because we have some great volunteers and some great supporters in not only the northern Kane County and the Elgin area, but also throughout that 4-county area. We have some wonderful people that are willing to make this program go.
So, Len, how long have you been with the Boy Scout organization?
Only 4 years. I came on right after COVID. I was formerly a high school teacher. That's why I've got my sweater vest on, looking all studious. But I used to work in education and decided that kids needed especially post-COVID, you saw this a lot. Kids were coming back to classrooms that were, in some ways, socio-emotionally, academically, it felt like they needed more support outside of the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I could provide a lot of that support outside of the classroom. Sometimes that was just as important as what's going on in the classroom. So I made the shift, and it's been great.
Good. That's really great to hear. So running a not-for-profit, you're just, you have so many responsibilities as you talk about the 3 M's and trying to manage all of that. Were you a Boy Scout when you grew up? Was that part of your program?
That's the question, right?
Yeah, of course.
So everyone thinks that everyone at the office was an Eagle Scout. There are several of them. Yeah. I am not one of them.
Interesting.
I did 2 years of Cub Scouts, which was great. And I know that I did 2 years of Cub Scouts because I have 2 Pinewood Derby cars. And then I earned my Arrow of Light and had the opportunity to continue on with the program moving into a troop. So K through 5, we call those things Cub Scout packs. And then you go on to a Scouts BSA troop after 5th grade. So I had the opportunity. I did not take it. Sometimes you learn these things are a little bit more important after you've come around to them. You've gone your whole life and gone, actually there was something important back there worth putting some effort behind and believing in. So, yeah, better late than never, I guess.
Of course, but you were a Scout at one point in time. Our youngest son is an Eagle, so he went through all the process thanks to my husband and our oldest son as well. So it is a wonderful opportunity, some leadership development skills that John still refers to today as in his banking career. So that's so positive to hear.
The way that I think about this, if you want to boil everything down about the movement, it's about time. I think that's the important thing. So when Samantha's talking about her work and I hear restoration, I'm like, ding, 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 the light bulb's going off. This is what it's about, okay? For Scouting, I feel like it's time. So it's so perfect that I'm in a town that has this Elgin National Watch Company where, like, time is important. We talk about killing time, losing time, making up time. We also talk about quality time. And I mean, just to give you an example, there's a little show and tell, which is hard to do on the radio. Sometimes it's a visualize and tell on the radio, but we do have the stream. So this is my grandfather's pocket watch. It's very hard to see. You're going to have to zoom in or something. Uh-oh, here comes the camera.
Here we go. Matt's doing it. Look at that.
There it is. And if you look closely, there's a word right there underneath the 12.
Yeah.
What word is that, pray tell?
I'm assuming that's Elgin. What do you think?
It is the Elgin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lovely.
That's an Elgin watch. I'm not going to do Antiques Roadshow today. I don't know how much this is worth. It doesn't matter. It's the sentimentality. It's the idea that this is a family heirloom. And what it reminds me is that family time is important. Scouting is a way to set aside the time with your family. The Cub Scout packs, it's not like a let's drop off the kids. It's not that kind of a situation. We're inviting our parents to be volunteers in this organization because we know that they care about their kids' experience as a youth and they want to help guide it. They know that there are other volunteers that care about that as well, who end up being their neighbors, their friends on the school PTO. And so this movement is essentially, thank you, Matt, this movement is essentially creating opportunities like that for kids and families to grow together.
Absolutely. So tell us about your timepiece.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm going to have to show my screen
here we go.
because I have one too. So this was, here, I'll show myself on the screen here. This was my great-grandfather's, and it is also an Elgin watch as well, too.
Lovely.
Look at that.
So I've got it in my office here in the little display case, and as you can see, it's also got that Elgin under there, too. So when you brought that out, I said, I got to get mine to show it. I love these. These are such just amazing piece to have, and a piece of history as well, too, which is really, really cool.
It is, and so respected, too. I mean, if you go to the Elgin History Museum, certainly there are exhibits there with Elgin Watch, and that was so transformational for our community. As we talk about Small Business Saturday coming up this Saturday, we were, in essence, a one-company town for a very long time and suffered the consequences of that as a result of the downfall with the watch factory. So what is so nice now is that we are spread all over the board with businesses in the community. The Small Business Saturday reflects the opportunity to shop local here in the community. We have wonderful small businesses, many of them owned by local families as well. So those people that work there are your neighbors, or you go to your religious institution with them or whatever. So the impact is really very strong. Besides the Downtown Neighborhood Association, we have 9 corridors of retail in our community. So don't forget all the different locations. Randall Road, certainly, but Summit Street and many of the others. McLean Boulevard, you can go and meet some of these small businesses and support them that way. But going back to Boy Scouts, it is really interesting with the use of volunteers. And as you talk about at the time with our son's troop, the leaders, including my husband, all had their sons graduate, and many of them became Eagles, and they all stayed on as leaders because they were so committed to making sure that they could impact these students. These children as they went through their high school, all the way up to high school. So very, very committed. What are you seeing now with trends? Because families are busier than ever before. We hear that with everyone. Samantha, you've got a couple of young ones. You're going in many different directions all at the same time. And how do you successfully recruit these students to become part of your Cub Packs and early on in grade school?
That is a good question, and it's something that we're continuing to try and work out. It's hard to know what the secret sauce is, but one of the things we're excited about is that we know there's this movement is for everybody. We know that in Elgin, for example, we have every kind of unit that is possible to have. We have one. We have a Cub Scout pack. We have an Explorer Post. We have a troop for boys. We have a troop for girls, which we don't see as many of, but that's growing. I would say that's probably one of the trends is that we're seeing, I think now 13%, maybe it's more than that. I apologize. Our Scout executive just went over this, and now I'm trying to remember numbers in my head. But 13% of our membership is girls, which is great to see. That's a trend that we'd like to continue to see grow, especially in the Elgin area. We also have some great volunteers in the Elgin area that are helping to make that happen. And in fact, some of them will be at the Good Scout breakfast next Tuesday.
Good. So. I know one of them, David George with Dogtopia in South Elgin, is a very keen volunteer with the Boy Scouts organization, one of our local business owners, and has a wonderful dog sitting program and business, rather, and is just a wonderful resource, not only for our organization, but for your organization as well. So you're located in St. Charles. If people want to go online and find out more about Boy Scouts, how do they do that?
Yeah, so threefirescouncil.org is the council website. Not to throw another one at you, but we've got beascout.org, beascout.org. That is for anyone that is interested in joining scouting. They can find a pack or a troop near them just by entering in their zip code.
That's nice. So there's easy ways to connect if I have a child who is interested, and perhaps my school doesn't have an organization locally or at schools. Are you meeting mostly at schools, or how does that work now?
I would say most of our units are meeting through schools, but there are also other nonprofit partners. Historically, we've seen somewhere between 75 and 90% of our charter partners have been nonprofits like churches and so on and so forth. But I would say most of them are gathering in schools. It's hard just because there's so many schools. I mean, think in U46 alone, right? You're talking about 53 elementary schools. We do not, I can tell you this, we do not have a unit in every one of those elementary schools. So we count on parents who have been in scouting before, either as a den mom or an Eagle themselves, who want to raise the issue with their PTO, want to raise it with their principal and say, I think we should have scouting here. And then that can become a conduit towards being able to start a new unit.
Oh, that's really wonderful. So you have the phone number, you know the website, or did we give the phone number? I'm sorry, I don't think we did.
I don't think we did, but trying to remember I think it's 630-584-9250.
That is correct.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's your phone number. And Samantha, did we do the same? What is your phone number at Paul Davis Restoration?
Well, it depends on how you're trying to get a hold of us.
Okay. Oh,
I mean, if you just want to call the office then that's 224-333-1300. And if it's emergency, you can call us on our emergency line. So that one it goes to us, but it's just anywhere we are. It's just a very easy number. So it's 800, where we at 409-3290?
408.
408.
Yep.
3290. See?
That's great. Thanks for calling that up. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, in the last couple of minutes, I do want to welcome some newer members with our Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce. American Legion Post 57 has joined us, so we're exciting to be at the Post. If you like fish fries and like dinners, they're certainly open. We're excited about a new relationship that's been created. Catering Made Simple is now going to be operating their food sources, and so it's a nice meld of two local businesses. Avona AI is joining us. Bridge CPA, some accountants who have gone out on their own, located at Big Timber Road. So we're welcoming Bridge. European Wax Center down in South Elgin is back with us. GNR Heating and Air, obviously, this is the time of year you want to make sure that your furnace is working well, or your boiler. So GNR Heating and Air. Interactive Inks and Coatings has joined us. Rest Assured HVAC. Total Care Studio. Urban Air Adventure Park down in St. Charles. If you have kiddos and you're coming up on Thanksgiving break, this is the kind of place that you might want to head to on East Main Street and let them jump around and use some of that energy that they have when they're out of school. And then Venture HR out of Deerfield is joining us as well. So lots of new members with our chamber. We're so excited to reach out in many different capacities to assist with local businesses. Again, it's Small Business Saturday this coming Saturday. There's materials that we've shared with some of the local businesses. Sunshine's Cupcakery, if you haven't been out there. Wendy and her husband have a local cupcake shop. If you need some desserts for Thanksgiving, they have some beautiful desserts that are available there. Herb's Bakery, the same thing. And then we were out at some local restaurants, including Paul's Family Restaurant. So lots of small businesses making an impact in this community. And don't just shop with them on Saturday. Of course, shop local year-round. That really does make a difference in business. So, Matt, what are your Thanksgiving plans?
Oh, my goodness. We are getting set and ready.
All right.
Just a nice little smaller Thanksgiving this time. And it's going to be good.
So maybe a 12-pound turkey versus your what?
18-pound.
18-pound. Samantha's ready to go with that. And Len, you're on the road and traveling quite a distance, so you don't have to take the turkey with you, but I'm sure you've got some responsibilities once you get down in St. Louis.
Oh, yes.
Good. Well, thanks to all of you for joining us today. We're excited to be here. Thanks to, again, Samantha Harris with Paul Davis Emergency Services, to Len Bagaki with the Boy Scouts of America Three Fires Council. And look for their event on Tuesday, December 2nd, a major fundraising event recognizing local folks in our area who have dedicated their time and their expertise to local not-for-profits. And Matt, thanks you always for having us and hosting us and making sure that this complicated system that you have works flawlessly.
Yes, thank you, Matt.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you all. Folks, we'll take a quick time out. We'll get to our top of the hour news and WRMN 10 o'clock news. Stay tuned.
To our nation's seniors, the American Federation of Government Employees. We work for